We already had some people on here chatting. Organic Raw Roots Farm, Salty Pine Farm. Thank you for joining us. The Hive and the Homestead, Mimsy's Garden. What's up, y'all? If y'all see me adjusting my eyes a lot tonight, I'm terribly sorry. I had an appointment with the eye doctor today, and I'm still blind. I did have to get glasses today. I've worn contacts for a while. They're kind of bothering me because I had to take them in and out several times. But I did finally break down and get glasses.
Hello,
Miss Diana at Justice Acres.
Busy little house. How are y'all?
Well, y'all got to watch our calf video. Yay!
Yes.
So Elsa finally had, this time last week.
Hey, Salty Pine Farms.
We were waiting. That's right. Yeah, because tomorrow will be a week. So we were still waiting. We knew that she was really, really close. And
Hey,
I had gone to run errands that morning, and when I come home, I saw her and knew that she was in her first stages of labor. So I called Colby and I was like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a baby today. So I just kind of stayed out there with her, and the next thing I knew, a hoof was coming out, and I said, "Here we go, y'all."
Hey, little feet.
And it probably only took her. I mean, I know y'all saw the video, and we had a lot of time elapse, so a lot of the stuff that y'all saw was really fast. But in all, it was probably what, an hour?
Yeah, about 45 minutes
from start to finish. When I saw her, and said she's going into labor. In all, it was probably
Hey, Dawn. Hey, Gemini.
45 minutes to an hour.
I'd say about 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, that's about right.
And what was so funny is Josie stayed right under her. It's like Josie would not leave her alone. And because Josie wouldn't leave her alone, Allie wouldn't leave her alone. So y'all saw in the video that I finally just had to move them over, or just move them over and get them out of the way so that she could progress in her labor, because she was doing so good when she was laying down. They made her get up, and she just wasn't pushing like she should have been. So anyway, long story short, she went and laid down, and it was like, bam, it was in no time she had that baby.
That's right. Grandma's so happy. Heaven Essentials, hey, how are you? Sonny's Place, Tinker's Wife. If we could have babies that fast.
Oh yeah, I know, for real.
I'm not gonna lie, about 3 of our kids were about that fast.
Yeah. Well,
hey, foster family.
Not an hour, but from the time I actually went into labor with our 5th, it was 6 o'clock that morning, and he was born at 9:30. So I'm not going to complain. That's pretty fast.
She was fast, but to be honest with you, I think Allie was a little faster.
I think so.
Allie was a little quicker.
Because Colby had left that morning. Yeah. He'd left at about 7 that morning to head to work. And I looked out the window at 9:30, and Colby did not notice anything with her when he left. I looked out the window, and bam, she was cleaning her calf, like had cleaned the calf. 5 babies, God bless you. Yep, our oldest is 11 and the youngest is 1. So 5 kiddos and a farm.
Yeah, we again, if y'all know our little bull, he's not little. I mean, he's a big bull, but he's a miniature Jersey bull. So he the reason we bought him is for low birth weight, especially with us having first time heifers and
Allie is a mid-size, so she's
a low line.
She's a little bit smaller. My labor started at 5, and my son was born at.
Thank you, Grandma. So happy. Hey, salon girl.
It's amazing how some people will stay in labor all day, and some people go really, really fast. So.
Hey, prairie girl and cowboy.
It's nice to have all you guys.
Yeah. Well, I usually look really young, Salty Pines. When I shave my beard, my wife gets mad at me when I shave because I look like a 13-year-old. So.
It does make you look really young.
It's growing back. It'll be there for me.
Well, today I'm going to tell y'all about the shenanigans today. So y'all know we move our cows from paddock to paddock. Well, everybody was moved over across the driveway except for Elsa and Kristoff. Well, when with the way the gates go, we can open them up into temporary fencing, which allows them to eat on the ryegrass. It's very thick, lush grass over there.
It's like laid over.
I mean, it's beautiful. So I told Colby earlier, I was like, I really want Elsa to be over there.
AT&S
and that's about as far as it went. But when I went out earlier, I said, I'm just going to walk Elsa over and the baby. I mean, it's what, 15 feet, 20 feet, maybe.
We have a walkway that Misty's talking about. Y'all have seen it. Y'all actually saw it in today's video. I walked the cows over. Well, those cows that went over, the only ones that didn't go over with Elsa and Kristoff, which you saw in the video today. But Misty wanted to make that same path. Well, the cows, they're used to Misty, but not as in rotation.
Not as much as Colby, because he deals with the cows more. But I was like, I had walked her from
independent. She was independent.
I had walked her from the front barn all the way down to the gate, and she was doing really good. And I didn't want to bother Aiden because Aiden was doing his schoolwork. So I thought, it's just these few feet. I'm going to walk her over. But this was my problem. The gate to the other paddock was still closed and locked because Josie was in there. So when I opened the gate that Elsa was in, she hit the garden and was like chowing down. I was like, well, that's okay. Her and Kristoff are right there. I'll leave them right there until I get the gate where Josie's at open, and then I'll walk her in, because she usually will do pretty good when you walk behind her, but she wouldn't go. I spooked Josie back enough where she wouldn't come out, and I got behind her, and she would not go in that fence. So she walked right past it and shot off.
Hey, Jim.
And if y'all know where Colby's deer plot is, it's like way far down. Well, she just decided to run down there. I'm down there with no cell phone. So I can't call Aiden. I can't call Colby. So I literally run back to the house.
Hey, Overlook.
And the calf, he's just down there running with Mama. And I'm like, oh my gracious. So anyway, I run up here, call Colby, call Aiden. We run down there. We finally got them back in. But y'all, she was gone. She wasn't going in that gate, and she sure enough wasn't fixing to turn around. And I was thinking, Colby is going to kill me if this cow goes in the woods.
I've learned to not stress out when cows get out, because when I stress out, they stress out even more. So I just learned to just take it easy and move them. But Misty's not used to moving them. It's especially not only is a cow sometimes difficult to move when you're not used to moving them. Like Misty was talking about, she'll go see them, but she's not used to doing the rotation. So that was new. Then you have a calf involved that's only a week old. And then you have the way she's rolling. Misty had a gait opposite of what they're used to. So, cows are repetitious. So there was a lot of moving factors. Then it started raining. So
it was raining. I got soaked.
Hey, Farmstead Talk.
Well, I think the thing went when it all started going downhill is I was fine with her going in the garden.
Hey,
that's not when I started flipping out. But when she walked past the gate, I was like, well, I'm still fine with that, because if I can cut her off, she'll turn around and go back. So I was okay with that, but the gate was still open and Josie was in there. So I'm trying to get fast enough around her to turn her around. And that was then I started getting like, okay, I got to hurry up and get her back in, because Josie's going to shoot out. Then I'm going to have 2 calves and a cow out, and I'm by myself with no phone. So then I started getting a little panicky, but when she saw me coming up the side, she got faster. Then I started panicking even more. So I finally just stopped and just ran back home. And by the time me and Aiden got back out there, she was way on down there, but we got her back. I had a bucket of food that time.
The thing is too about cows is
it was not fun.
They have an alpha. So with me, they know we have a repetition, and they know how to walk. They go in a certain order. I mean, it's almost like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that's how they kind of walk all the way through with their names and all. But if you get them out of that order, or they seem to not go in that order.
Food is the key. Right.
If they don't go in that order, or one tries to get ahead of the other one, it throws them all off. So it's one of those things where, with Misty moving just one cow over that was not used to being a leader, with her baby that was a little freaked out a little bit, plus it was raining, and the baby really hadn't seen Misty a lot. It was just a lot. You know, it was just
Yeah.
one of those situations where
But
you just got to grin and bear it and go with it.
my thinking was, and we have a piece of polywire tape that we usually will hold up that guides, like it's not hooked up to anything. You just hold it up, open the other gate, and usually somebody else can be over there to open the other gate, and it's like they just go right on. But I didn't have any help, and I didn't want to disturb Aiden doing school, like I said. So anyway, I really wanted Elsa to go over there to the grass because I felt like
True Gemini.
she will get more nutrients because right now where she's at, there's not a whole lot of grass. It's kind of our backup place. And she has hay and the little bit of feed she gets when she's milking. So I know she's not starving, but I'm thinking for the nutrients, I wanted her over there just for a little while. But
she ain't doing that no more.
I ain't doing it no more. Not without help. I'm not going to do it again without help. Anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah, cows are fun. They do walk in the lunch line. I mean, they really do.
Things I've learned from homestead channels: make sure to have a food bucket.
You know what's so funny
right.
is I personally don't even have to have a food bucket too much anymore, especially if they're following Allie.
Yeah.
If they're not following Allie, then I have to kind of watch them where to go from there. But pretty much if I have Allie, I can walk her and they're going to follow behind Allie because they know they're getting led to a really nice paddock. So
right.
they do pretty good.
And what we have been doing is when Colby milks in the morning, he walks them over from where they're at, then he walks them back. He leaves Elsa and Josie closest to the house in the barn section that I was mentioning to y'all. Then he walks Allie over with the others and leaves her there. And then mid-morning, because we don't want them to have too much fry, a lot of times it'll make their
give them scours.
Yeah, it'll, another words for people that don't know that, and make their poop really loose.
Diarrhea.
So, yeah.
Diarrhea.
So, we'll take them in. Me and Aiden will go out mid-morning and we'll walk all of them over except for Josie because it's the temporary fencing is where the rye lush grass is, and Josie has not been trained to the hot fence. Now there's not even, the electricity is not even on it, okay? And they just know because we trained them to it, but Josie has not been trained to it. So
Josie's crazy too.
Aiden has to come out with me to either open the gate and let the big cows in, and I have to keep Josie back, or vice versa, just so she won't get in there and get out, because she will. She's not been trained to it. So we'll let them in for a few hours. Aiden goes out and does all his chores and dumps hay in for them. And at that point in time, I go back out and open up the gate and let all of them back in to eat their hay, so that they've had some good ryegrass, but not too much. Anyway, what I was saying is when we went out this morning, it was so funny because Josie was staying under Allie and I was opening the gate. Colby doesn't even know this. And she wouldn't get away from her mama. And I was depending on him to get her back, but they were standing.
Hey, 2.5
Allie, Beauty, Daddy-O, I mean, Ike in the back.
Lines.
They were standing in a single file line waiting on me to open that gate. And I stood there kind of chuckling about it. It's funny that you said that because they were literally in a single file line. It's like they know where their place is. But I was waiting on Aiden to get the calf back because, like I said, we have not trained her to the hot wire yet.
What's so funny too is, you know, I don't know who milks on here. I know a few of y'all milk, but I've been leaving my back paddock, my back run open, and basically allowing them to have 2 paddocks and then the run that goes to my dairy field. Just because at 4 o'clock in the morning, a lot of times it's hard to walk a path, especially like this morning it was going to rain. So what was so funny is this morning my alarm started going off, and all of a sudden we hear Allie just bellowing. I mean, I'm talking about like something wrong. And I said, "Oh man, it's flooding. I've got a calf out."
She actually woke us up before the alarm went off.
Yeah, I was thinking I've got a calf out. One of my calves are out, or either something's wrong with Allie or she's out. Sounded like she was on her back porch. And and she's been doing pretty good about just coming over anyway. Oh, I'm sorry.
I got a comment that I was going to read.
But what's been so great, like the lunch line talking about the comments of them coming over, a Jersey is so good, and I'm not saying anything against Brown Swiss or Holstein, but Jerseys are so good of repetition. So now that I've let that back run open, they're literally usually standing at the gate ready to milk. I mean, I don't even have to go chase them anymore. This morning I had to go over there because I had to make sure the calves were in. Because, like I said, she was bellowing. All she was doing was she didn't get her last milk. I guess she was just like, "Please milk me. I am ready to be milked." because she put out about a little over 2 gallons today, which is unbelievable for Allie, especially feeding the baby. So she was
Organic
ready.
Raw Root said, listening to us, she's going to want a cow by the end of the
I know
year.
she told me she wanted one of ours.
All right. Overlook Valley said, we almost had a run-in with our bull today. Thank y'all for coming to into our chat tonight. Our bull is very gentle,
Well,
but even though
he's
very gentle, I'm talking about Didio. He's the biggest one. He could hurt you really bad if he wanted to.
The biggest one here.
Yeah. We never turn our backs on him. He is very, very gentle, but when he gets excited, he bucks around like crazy.
We got a rodeo video.
Yeah, we do have a video of him before we had the fencing in the back where we were walking him through the front yard, y'all.
Yeah, we used to walk our cows just across the front yard. We didn't have a run.
The front yard, including our bull, Didio. Who does that?
He threw for us.
Anyway, yes, don't ever turn your backs on them. Because they can be very, very dangerous. Aiden and I was out in the field the other day dumping hay when they were still over on the far side before y'all saw the video of
a bar sugar sweet place
of Colby moving them. And when we were dumping hay, he got to bucking around. I mean, y'all seen even him remember the Lion King one where he put his head in the hay and he come up and he had all the hay. He gets really excited. He was all up in the hay. He started going so crazy. Did I tell you I had to jump in the back of the Ranger? I mean, I literally had to. Thankfully, I'm kind of somewhat fit. Had to jump in the back of the Ranger. Aiden started yelling.
Hey, is everybody okay? Can y'all see us? We might have lost power. Are we okay?
Can y'all see us?
Are we okay? We good? Everybody sees us. I had a few people say they couldn't see us.
Peace out. The screen is black.
Okay, we see you. Okay,
good. It's good. Okay.
Sorry, I saw a few of the comments. I said, well, I just want to make sure we're good. So.
All right, just wanted to make sure.
Thank y'all.
Yes, thank y'all.
On top of the cows, which is kind of our life, I know, because we're milking and getting about 4 gallons a day.
Thank y'all.
To be honest with you, we're inundated with milk. We have we've made everything we possibly could with milk. Thank you, Jim.
Hey, have y'all seen our picture on Facebook? Or the refrigerator is full. The picture that I posted, the refrigerator is full.
And that wasn't even all of it. We had it out in the other fridge too.
And yogurt, a gallon. I made a gallon of yogurt today too.
Yeah, what's so crazy is we cook 3 meals a day with milk at every meal. Kids drink about a gallon a day, and it's like we still have so much milk. So it's a great problem to have. I can't complain. Is. So
I made butter again today too.
Yeah, so we've been rolling with it.
Yeah. Hey, so who's planted stuff? I want to know what y'all are planting.
That was our next conversation.
We got a bunch of stuff planted in the greenhouse. I actually watered it today.
We're zone 8B, so we can plant a little bit more earlier than some of you folks. But has anybody started planting yet, or doing seed starts, or any of that other than some of the winter stuff?
Thank y'all so much too for posting that stuff.
Yeah, thank y'all. Basically, we have and we'll have a video actually coming out in 2 days. But you know what's
Feed farm. We know that trick.
Yeah, we list as animal use only or for labor intensive purposes. But we planted some more onion and some more broccoli starts and onion starts and all this stuff in the greenhouse. So we have 2 videos coming out on some greenhouse stuff. We get a little excited this time of year because we just go crazy. We love it. We actually go crazy too much. So let's see.
I've done lots of starts. Well, we do have a pretty nice size greenhouse, and it does very well for us. So we have started a lot of things. Some of it will stay in there, like our sage, our basils. I tried a purple basil. So some of that stuff actually will stay in there, but all the tomatoes I started will stay in there too.
2 family, I don't know. I think we've got good connection with everybody else. Let me know if we can't clear up. 2.5 acres, moringa. Awesome. Yep. We've started some moringa. We had moringa before. We're going to do a whole video on gooseberries, which is katuk, moringa, turmeric, all of these things that are superfoods. Yeah, pigeon pea. a lot of things that some people in Florida may know exactly what we're talking about, but a lot of that stuff we're going to talk about superfoods very soon, why we're growing them, and the benefit of them. So great choice on the moringa tree.
Yep.
We're excited about that as well.
Yeah, and if a lot of y'all don't know very much about moringa, y'all look it up.
Hey, Will's Petting Zoo.
It's like Colby said, they consider it like a huge superfood. So there's a lot to know about that.
That's right, Grandma's so happy.
Moringa has given me my life back, helps me with my RA, stands for rheumatoid arthritis. That's awesome. They consider it like a huge superfood.
And Katuk is the same way, which is gooseberries. And if you buy that stuff on the shelf, you can buy it. Walmart sells an organic version of it too. Whole Foods, Amazon.
Overlook Valley.
You can't. I mean, the amount is unbelievable of price. So if you can grow your own, it's amazing. You can eat just about any part of it. The leaves are just pull off, eat them raw, or put them on salad, whatever, or either grind them up.
Organic Raw Roots said where to find turmeric to plant. We bought
ours at Amazon. Be careful doing that. The one we bought it from was a Louisiana person that we just shipped through Amazon.
It was not their fault.
It wasn't their fault. It shipped. It ships kind of bad, and then on top of that, it didn't ship only bad.
They shipped
to the wrong place, and then
we didn't know it was there, and it got left out in the cold. Yeah. And by the time it got to us, it was on its last limb. Right. I planted it, and I'm still watering it, hoping that maybe something will pop up in spring. But it kind of wasn't their fault. I mean, it looked terrible, but I feel like it was because it got delivered. It was in the spot we were not expecting, so we didn't know that it was there. And
but I think it's going to be okay.
Freezing outside.
The only thing we hadn't really got to try to grow yet, we're going to try to grow our own ginger, of course. We're not in the climate for it,
Stacey.
But we've got a greenhouse, of course, that's where our Katuk will stay, and also our moringa.
And speaking of turmeric, if y'all don't know about turmeric is like but it's also a huge anti-cancer.
Carcinogenic.
Huge. I mean, it's way on up there. So we add turmeric to. You can add
Overlook Valley if you want to. What a lot of times if you can't handle the flavor well on the powder, we do it with wheatgrass. You can mix it with a smoothie. Mix it with a yogurt smoothie. Or just put it on in your coffee.
Is she talking about the turmeric?
No, she's talking about the moringa.
Okay,
it's very bold.
I was going to say the turmeric doesn't have a strong taste. We sprinkle it on eggs. Right. We sprinkle it. You can mix it in with seasonings like to put on chicken and pork chops and stuff like that. You know, the color is extremely bold, but it does not have a bold taste at all.
But
so you could turn turmeric.
That's like wheatgrass. When we grow our microgreens, wheatgrass is very strong. If you're not used to that flavor, it's very drastic.
I use turmeric in all of my cooking Little Feet Farm.
But that's right. You can put it in your coffee. Me and Misty were talking about that. A lot of people put them in their smoothies.
Oh, that's cool. I make my own moringa capsules.
I saw that.
That's very cool.
Yeah, the pills.
Put it in my coffee, but I drink it fast.
We want to get into more true superfoods. Of course, garlic's one of them. Turmeric's one of them. Of course, tons your super green, your kales, your Katuk, your moringa. So we're real excited about that. We watch a lot of. I watch a lot of a minimalist that does a lot of horticulture and a lot of herbal uses. So I think it's kind of a neat concept. It's a different spin on the homesteading that we're doing. So I think it's a great
Organic
asset.
Raw Root says, Misty, I make golden milk turmeric. Now that's pretty cool. You'll have to make a video on that and let me know when it's done. And I have not forgotten about the hamburger buns either. We have filmed so much that we're trying to catch up. We have so much content. So we try to keep it in order. So once we get these next several videos published, I am going to get that video done and put it out. So y'all don't give up on me. I promise I'm going to get it done. Has anybody on here made my bread? I've had one person tag me that made it on Instagram, and she posted the picture when she got it out. She said that it looked delicious, and then she tagged me the next day and said it was amazing, that it's real spongy like the store-bought bread. And I was like, I told y'all. So let me know if y'all have made the bread. I'd love to know how it turned out for you.
I had something to say. I can't remember what I
I'm
was going to say
sorry.
now.
I like turmeric, but it doesn't like me, Overlook Valley.
We have a video on it, The Tinker's Wife. It's just basically a sandwich bread. We make Misty a sourdough, so we make sourdough bread too. But this bread, we were looking for a slicing sandwich bread. So we have a video on it. We talked a few weeks ago about it, but it
Now
does
she
excellent for us.
actually made hers in a loaf pan and put it in the oven. I have a bread machine that was given to me. The thing that I like about the bread machine is
It
that
does,
it's
Stacey,
tall,
you're right.
and when you slice it down, it makes sandwich bread. I mean, it's really tall, so when you make it and you can cut it in half, and then it gives you two like real. I mean, it's just like sandwich bread. But when you make it in the loaf, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you cut it, your slices are going to be a little bit smaller. So that's really the only difference. You can do it either way.
Darlene, this for your bread recipe.
Yes, I have a video on it. I like the instructions and the recipe. The whole thing's on there. So you can go look on that. And I'm also gonna do buns. I made homemade buns too.
We do that
and they
too,
are
Overlook.
the bomb.
We do that as well.
It took me 10 years though, I will say. That's what I was telling. I have to go back and look and see who tagged me. I cannot remember what homestead it was. Not right now, I can't. But anyway, she really liked it. But I was telling her it took me 10 years to find one that's comparable that doesn't have all the junk. There's no sugar. I guess you could use sugar, but we use honey. I mean, it's extremely comparable to store-bought without all the junk in it, and it's very simple, good for you ingredient. So I just feel like you can't beat it.
Like us, I guess because we have, and I don't say this lightly, we always have so much going on. Let me see some of the videos. We always have content, so we have to kind of really watch our content and kind of cut it down. And we just have a lot of content. We've already got several videos that are kind of loaded.
It's one of the
in, so.
newest ones, Miss Darlene Thompson. It's one of the newest ones.
Should be about
the bread is bolded. Yeah, it's maybe 5 or 6 or 7 back. It's a fairly new video. I had somebody ask me to make it, so I specifically made it for my viewers. And I have the buns, hamburger buns will be coming up too. Are y'all sugar free?
Yes, well, pretty much. I'd say 90, probably 95%.
Yeah.
We really don't.
Those 2 buckets back there are full of honey.
Now we do all honey. I can't really think of anything we personally use sugar
Like if
for.
I make a dessert,
like she makes a pound cake every once in a while.
Every once in a while, like now, if we have a birthday or celebration.
Explain our sugar though. We don't use any white sugar. It's not
white sugar. We do not use the bleach white sugar. We use sugar in the raw or brown sugar. It's
always non-GMO or organic.
And sugar. I try to find recipes that have very limited amount of sugar. And if I can replace my sugar with the honey, like one time I tried to make these, what was that you made that time that we all loved, but I tried to remake it with the honey, like the blondie, like a blondie brownie. So Colby had made them before in the past, and of course it has sugar in it. I tried to make it this past time and replace the sugar with the honey. It did not work. They were way too gooey. It just didn't work.
We make all our bread products with honey. Our biscuits are made with honey.
Pancakes, waffles,
Now the cinnamon rolls at Christmas we sell. That is a consumer eat product. We actually don't even eat our own cinnamon rolls anymore. We used to love them, and we just ate our weight on them. And
come Thanksgiving, I kind of had a mindset change of, yes, we make a lot of our food.
We went to more of a clean diet.
But I wanted to really try to weed out preservatives. Try to eat as much in-season food as we can. We try to eat a raw, a ferment, and a cooked veggie. Just about every meal, and of course a protein. Bees are a blast. We've lost a few hives, but we're still at 12 hives. We lost
2 or 3.
Definitely look into it, Little Feet Farm Homestead. Just do your research is all I would say before you just jump into it. Definitely do your research, learn the things that you need, the tools that you need, how the bees operate, and build up your tools, because we kind of bought. I think we kind of, I know you're just make me yawn.
Why are you yawning?
Contagious.
Gosh.
It's a mental thing. Anyway, because initially bees can be expensive. So we bought.
They can, but they have a better return on premium than just about any animal or livestock on your farm.
One of our
we sold 15 gallons at least.
One of our employees come up today and was like, "Please give me a pint of honey." I forgot to tell you that he come up here and got that honey.
Yeah, I told you he was coming.
I just didn't know if you knew he did. But we don't have a problem selling honey at all in our area.
Oh gosh, we really could do more.
But initial investment, I'm not going to tell you that it's cheap, because it's not.
The thing about bees, though, the good thing, whereas I'm working cows daily, we're dealing with chickens and pigs daily. You know, bees, you don't deal with them daily. Mm-hmm. The only times you really focus on them is during the times that they can split and have the homestead. I know they're the same way.
Salty Pines Farm said, "I want to get back into bees, but man, I've got so much going on that as it is, I don't know how you do it, Lowell." Well, and that is the good thing. It's like Colby just said. Bees. It's not. Thankfully, it's a seasonal thing. It's not an everyday thing.
So, girl, a lot of times people will want you to put them on their property, and you can pay them in honey to do that. A lot of people do that. That's very common when you do splits in our area. They love when you put bees on their property because it helps their stuff grow. It's not their animals they have to, or livestock they have to deal with, and you can pay them in honey. So that's something to think about there.
That is awesome. Having the homestead said we sold out of all of our honey. People love raw honey and unfiltered. That's what we did.
We do raw and unfiltered honey, and what we've started doing is we do a lot more honeycomb. I keep thinking every year, and why am I doing this? Because I enjoy it, but a lot of people don't like honeycomb.
When we take it to the market, it's one of the first things that we sell out
of. It makes the best money. Yep. Having homestead, we do check ours monthly too. Now I check during early spring, and summer, and early fall. I check them about every 3 weeks. If it's during cold season, I only check them when I need to.
Yeah.
Just because I'd rather weather them and don't break their.
TNS Dogs and Dragonflies Farm said we are getting bees this year. That is awesome.
The bee population is going down, and people don't realize
that is
with the loss of bees, it's a loss of food. When you lose your pollinators, there's a lot of things that depend on bees. So I challenge you, get some bees.
Do you remember what you watched that said how many thousands of pounds of honey that people demand per year? Do you remember?
I think it was. I think we eat, and I'm gonna throw this out. I'm gonna be completely wrong, but I think it was like 80 million pounds of honey is ate in the U.S. and only 40 million or 30 million was processed.
That was local. It was like crazy.
Everything else was imported. And the crazy thing is, a lot of, and again, I'm not hating on China or anything else, but a lot of the imported honey was more of a sugared honey. It was not actually true honey. So really be careful where you buy your honey if you're not buying it local.
Well, if you're interested 2.5 acres, I would just say definitely kind of weigh out your options. They're not time consuming.
That's a good thing.
When you check them, really, you just get in your suit, you put your smoke on, and you're going to crack open the tops. There are a few different things that you're looking for.
True salon girl, you're right.
There are a few different things that you're looking for, and as long as they look okay, you can pretty much seal them back up and be done with it.
Little Feet, we're planting right in front of our bees. We're actually planting buckwheat this year, and of course, they have natural clover, but we've tried some wildflower mixes that hadn't done that well. So, and we have a good area for them to pollinate anyway, both hive apiaries, but we're actually going to plant some buckwheat this year and try to get it blooming really well for them.
All right, She Moved Mountain said, what would say is a good Dutch oven? All cast iron or enamel, also affordable. My mom uses my grandma's enamel pan, but she started bread now, and I'm sure she'll want it back.
If you're doing it for if you're cooking in a Dutch oven and doing your bread, a lot of times people make a crusty bread. Enamel is the best way to go because it's easier to get it out. The all cast iron is great too, but it can cook it pretty quick if you're not watching it. We personally like the enamel just because easy cleanup versus having to re-season a cast iron. We have both. Don't get me wrong, we have tons of both. But we actually first like the cast iron. I mean, excuse me, the enamel better. What you say?
But my bread, I just use if it's just bread that you're talking about, I just use my bread machine because
well, we use the Dutch.
So easy.
When we make that crusty, that no knead bread I make,
yeah.
that's in the Dutch oven. Yeah. We make that in the Dutch oven.
All right, the man I bought my farm from wants me to put bees on his big farm. Just lost that comment. Sorry, y'all. Take care of it for him.
A lot of people do that because some people love honey, but they're completely scared to death of bees. And you have to respect them. I mean, don't get me wrong, but to be honest with you, there's so many people around our area that says, "Hey, you put them out here, you do what you want with them. Just pay me a little bit of honey." I actually have a friend that we don't own the hives at all. Actually, we just take his splits every year because he can't. He just wants the honey. He don't even want to mess with them. So I'll go over there and help him extract the honey and rob the honey, and then pretty much he'll take his honey. I'll take his splits, and it's worked out really good because he has very good bees, very aggressive bees. So.
The hive and the homestead that they're going to dedicate a few hives just to produce honeycomb. That's a really cool idea.
Organic raw root farm. I wish that was true in Mississippi. I don't want to ever get to that point where we lose property tax because of bees. But I wish because I know that means it's serious. But I wish we didn't have to pay property tax, and we like our bees.
Shimu Mountain said a company in our state is giving away wildflower seeds to attract bees in.
A lot of heavy populace. A lot of areas. They said a lot of areas that typically grew wildflowers there now using a lot of fertilization has lost their bee populations by 40% in some of those states. So be careful. You're right.
I'll do flowers, but I do have lots of clover.
Clover, I'm not saying clover is my favorite. Clover makes a decent honey, especially if they're getting good feedings, especially going into the fall and like this time of year. Salty Pines Farm, the best time to start, personally, you're going to get a split around March, late February, early March. A bee's springtime, their honey flow will kind of start in the February, March area. They're going to start taking in pollen. Actually, my bees have been out the last few days heavy. And what they're doing is they're already going and collecting a lot of pollen on some of the first blooms, a lot of clover that we have blooming right now. That's kind of what's good about clover is because it's kind of flowing in right now when everything else is not. So, I can't get enough bees. I love them.
Wheels Petting Zoo and Garden said I made some earlier. Larry says that he puts parchment paper down when he's cooking his bread.
Yeah, we've done that before.
Wheels Petting Zoo said he does that too. What is the best time of year to start a colony?
Now? No, February, March is the best time to start a colony. And the best time is you get a split. I mean, you can order some. I talked to a guy the other day, and I was advising him.
Little house. We've done that. Listened a lot.
But I would start it whenever bees start splitting naturally, which is pretty much late February, early March is when we do splits. And Hyman Homestead, y'all key in. I know you're another bee farmer over here.
Buck Week is a good honey.
You know what's so crazy? I personally like fall honey better than spring honey. Misty likes spring honey better. It's light, it's sweeter. I personally like fall honey. It has more. It has a very distinctive taste.
But spring is good.
I like it. Now we have goldenrod around here. I'm not a big goldenrod fan, but it does feed our bees. And a lot of times they'll put the goldenrod in the bottom for some reason for the queen. So we don't get a lot of goldenrod honey, but we do have a lot of goldenrod here. And it helps feed them through the winter.
The bees too are very, very.
We don't do any supplemental feeding.
And they're very interesting creatures, and they really are. When you go in.
Thank you so long.
Or even I thought I was going to go in and be a little panicky, be a little nervous. But I think because you're under everything, you can stay calm.
That's what we do.
It's very relaxing. I like it. I like to hear the buzzing of the bees just flying around.
It is very much
Unless you're Colby and you get stung.
They like me. They'll eat me alive. I'm not gonna lie. They will tear me up.
I've never been stung by one. I mean, I don't do it all the time, but I do go out and help him a lot.
That's cool. It's when they eat off the maple tree blossoms, does it tend to turn it more of a burgundy or auburn red, or does it stay pretty auburn gold?
That's neat.
We have a friend that feeds that has a lot of feeders off maple and cherry blossoms, and a lot of their honey comes out almost like a purplish, almost like a grape juice. It's absolutely beautiful. It actually looks like Misty's kombucha. It's like this color. It's like a purplish color, which you can't really tell on that.
That's great kombucha. Maple trees blossoms are great food for humans.
Here in Mississippi, we don't have much maple trees.
I wish we did, but it's too hot. It's like by the time the end of August comes, I think everything is dead.
Having a homestead, we split. We had up to 16 last year. We're back down to 13 just because of winter. We had a really crazy winter, but we will easily split at least 10 of those this year, if not more, and then we'll take 2 splits off the other ones as well.
I've never tried maple flowers. We haven't either.
I do wear protection. I'm not one of those manly men who cannot who can deal with bees. Let me say this. Let me go back. I used to be able to go and just check them if I rate the top on them. They didn't bother me, and they still don't bother me. I'm not afraid of them by any means. I respect them. But for some reason, the more I get stung, the more I'm susceptible to swelling. So I'm really careful on my bees. Like the other day, I opened one hive. I saw a few dead bees right there at the edge, and it just kind of worried me. So I opened the hive with no suit on, just checked them, closed it back. But if I'm working them, like I watch Barnyard Bees and 628. Thank you, Organic Raw Roots Farm. But we watch a lot of beekeepers ourselves, and they must be more manly men than me. But they go in there and nothing on, and I can't do that. So
thank you, Terry. She says keep it up. We appreciate that so much, really. I mean, we've said a million times.
Thank you, Organic Raw Roots Farm.
We really feel like this whole YouTube thing has been. I was talking with somebody earlier on Justin Rhodes' abundant permaculture. I always slaughtered that word. And I was telling her that we really, this whole YouTube thing is we do for our viewers, because we are not rocket scientists by any means, but we have learned a lot over our several years of studying and doing research and learning from others. And we want to share that. So for y'all that will hang with us and watch us, we're going to teach y'all everything that we know. Even I did, over the past 3 days, I've been collecting eggs. So we tore down our bachelor pad.
Karen, how are you?
Put our roosters in with our hens.
CTNS.
And I have been gathering eggs for the past 3 days. And then I did a video today on how to use our egg incubator from Amazon. So, we just want to knowledge share. And that's what we feel like this whole thing is about, is building community, building friendships with people. And we like to share everyday life too, because we want y'all to know that we're real people. And like today when Elsa ran off from me, I mean, that's just, I wasn't expecting that, but it happened.
Hey, fancy farmer.
And but we also want to share with y'all the things that we've learned and the places that we messed up, so that y'all don't have to make the same mistakes we made. So, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree. We can learn from each other. So, what's so cool? How many acres do y'all have? We sit on around a little over 30 acres that we sit on. Some of that's still pine. We don't use all of it just because some of it's a pine thicket. And I know if y'all watched our videos, you can tell the pine thicket. We farm about 10 acres of that, or homestead about 10 acres of that for sure.
Our weeds are horrible here too. I'm gonna let you address that, because you've kind of done more of that.
Back to Eden doesn't work here just because we're in a very humid climate. What we've seen, we do use a lasagna method of gardening. And when I say we're no-till grower gardeners, we are to an extent. We're not tillage. We're not doing a heavy tillage in our gardens. We're not doing tractors in our garden anymore. Up until about 2 years ago, we quit that. So we've started doing more lasagna laying on there. Back to Eden, the wood chips sometimes don't break down as good in their main beds. Now we are using wood chips on our rows this year. We actually got a guy that's going to drop some off, but not putting them on the actual rows. We do use the lasagna method when it comes to putting composition down and making sure we have good soil on the rows. So we don't do the back to Eden garden. Now, one thing we did on, I tell you, weed suppression in the South, in our humidity and our climate, you're never going to get rid of weeds. Period. But our weed suppression is two things. Well, it's a lot of things, but two things mainly. Off season, we don't. I heard somebody say, Mother Nature is modest. And that's true. We believe that our dirt, if our topsoil is looking good, the last thing I want to do is leave it uncovered. So we use silage tarps in our garden. That way, whatever we chop and dropped or whatever we used or ate or let the pigs and chickens in, after they get done, the last thing we want to do is cover it, because the chicken squat, pig squat, decomposition of all the roots that are in there is going to only help our garden. It's going to help the earthworms. I found earthworms coming out just like this long. It looked like a snake.
He come in the greenhouse that day
I thought I was going to change pants. It was bad.
He said there was a worm over there about the size of a snake.
So our goal is to always keep covered. So weed suppression is silage tarps, which we love our silage tarps. I cannot say enough of it. Mm-hmm. And secondly, we use a weed thrower, or basically a flame thrower that we'll cut our edges out with. That's two great things to do, especially if you're covering. Now
this will be our first full season. Hold on, I've got a lot to read. This will be our first full season of the tarp being over the whole entire garden for the entire season.
Definitely.
So I'm curious to see if it's been on there and has gotten hot enough to kill the seeds, which is the thing, because your grass grows in seasons. Well, your grass that's there, that's rooted, is going to die, but it put off seeds, and that's the problem. So if you can kill the grass and the seeds, then your weed control is going to be a whole lot more better.
A weed is not just a dandelion. A weed is something that's growing in a foreign place. So like for us, our weeds are not really weeds. Our weeds are really grass. Bahia grass grows really fervent here, really prevalent. It's what a lot of our fields are, which is not the best quality grass, but it's the quickest grow grass. Someone has the twig with the the black seeds on top.
And puts all the seeds.
And don't get me wrong, as in the field, that's great, because it helps grass grow quick.
But we don't want that in the garden.
And that's our hay. But it gets in our garden because our hay fields, or not our hay fields, but our paddocks are close. That wind is going to always constantly blow. So we're going to fight
covered, that. Yeah, but keeping it covered
definitely
is going to help. We feel like it's going to help tremendously.
Definitely.
Like I said, by the end of June or July, we will definitely be able to give you all a better picture of how it has worked for us way down here in Mississippi. Is the soap business online yet?
We actually are waiting. We've got one other thing to finish up on.
He's in charge of that.
I'm sorry, Karen.
I can't help you there.
Actually, Grammy Karen's soap is going out tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, she ordered some from me, and we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that sent.
But Karen, it's coming up. Karen Herkey, we're trying our hardest.
All right, Stacy says I got my new incubator. I did get the one that y'all have. I'm waiting to set a hatch for spring break.
Great.
That's awesome. I went ahead and dropped mine in because I will do several batches, and I'm also going to sell several batches of chicks. We'll sell some at Easter. And we're trying to work our gardens. We're trying to work our fruit trees. We're trying to put some chickens behind the cows so that they can eat the larva and the poo, which will ultimately help cut down on our flies here. So we want a lot of chicken. So we've been working on that.
Thank you, 2.5 acres. We hope we have a nice place. Hey, Three Musketeers.
So y'all are growing weeds. We're trying not to grow weeds.
We do not want to grow weeds.
I didn't use silage tarps. I used black plastic to get rid of the Bermuda. Work like a charm. Look, he's been making fun of me all day. I went to the eye doctor and come back home, and I was like, well, because I've never worn glasses. I was like, well, I didn't like any of the big frames. I got the kid frames because they fit my face the best. And I'm not a big statured person, so I like those better. They fit me better. And he was like, "Did you get a lollipop with that?" I was like, "You're real cute."
Salty
Anyway,
pines. Two things. The salad starch, we do want it to heat up to a certain point because we do chop and drop. So we have basically a layer of compost in there that we want to decompose a little bit more. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can get mad or somebody could tell me otherwise. Grass, especially Bahia grass, to kill the weeds or the Bahia grass, it's got to be about a 130, 120 to 130 degrees because of the what's on grass is basically like a oil residue that helps it be protected from elements. So we do allow it to get hot in the summer, and we don't cover our whole garden for every season. So there's a purpose for every season. So the part that's been covered for the whole summer, we will not use until basically that end season, which is fall. And then same thing when we go into the fall, like the fall stuff that's now, it will be covered. It won't be utilized at all for this season. It will actually go through a decomposition for all season.
and we also hope to put what is the row cover?
We use weed. We're using weed fabric on some of
Yeah.
our stuff this year too.
So I'm hoping that we can kind of utilize that as well too in places to see how that helps us.
Fancy Farmer is not. It's not possible that we know of doing a Cornish cross egg. Cornish cross has one purpose and one purpose only is to be eaten. You can do. Let me tell you, a Cornish hen, and if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a Delaware rock cross, or what makes a Cornish cross. That's where they get their bigness from. So it's possible for somebody, if you go to a true hatchery and can pick up some of those chickens to cross a Cornish cross, you can. I can't figure out it.
I asked Colby, I was like, does everybody say that because they don't allow them to get old enough in that 6 to 8 month where they start laying? Is that why people say they don't lay, because they don't ever let them get, or is it just physically impossible? So that's what, we're definitely not.
Cecilia,
totally on that.
The plants, actually, the ones that we went through on the frost for us personally, I don't know if you're talking to us or talking to Food Forest. Here, the only things we grow now is stuff that can make it through frost. So the only things we have to watch about is the broccoli florets on the broccoli.
Terry says she has to wear glasses for driving at night. Well, I can't see at all without my contacts in. So if I get in the car without contacts in, I won't make it very far. I'm near. Let's see. Didn't he tell me today that
you're nearsighted?
I'm nearsighted. I can see everything really, really good up close. No problems whatsoever. Everything in the distance is a blur. So.
Yeah, Food Forest, I imagine y'all have to be careful how you grow, especially being as north in climate you are.
Yeah, I would prefer to go a little bit further down south, nowhere up north. I will stay where I'm at or go south.
See you, Sonny's place. Thank you for coming by.
Yes, thank you so much. So what about any questions? I told y'all we've done butter today. We've done yogurt today. I put 29 eggs in the incubator today.
Lost a few cows today.
That was my fault.
Chased
I take full credit for that. But I did get Elsa and Kristoff back in by myself. You drove down there, but I already had them put up.
That's right, you had them.
Even though I was panicking a little bit when she started running from me. And what's so funny? I told Colby in the field the other day, I went out and she used to just let me pet her and love on her. It's like she had the baby, but I'm not out there a lot, but she still used to let me pet on her and love on her. She'd lick my sweat off. But now it's like when I start walking towards her, it's like she takes off running the other way. I'm like, Elsa, I love to pet you.
Fancy Farmer, we actually have talked about doing a video on all those things. We were high school sweethearts.
We do have an older video talking about why we
homestead, but we didn't really talk about
us.
Everything and about the property and all. So we really need to update that. That might be a good video coming up.
We were high school sweethearts. So.
She's been putting up with me for a long time. Which is awesome. You know what's so crazy about our area? Because we had a lot of warm days. We actually had a lot of things blooming already, which is good for our bees. However, it started to get set back again because we did have a little frost here, but um, I don't. This whole week or this whole month we've had rain, so that's been really good for our grass. But to be honest with you, it's not too good for everything else other
Yes,
than our grass.
salon girls. We actually most of the Hulse tools,
Lettuce, onions,
seeds.
and broccoli all went in soul blocks.
Right.
We
So
probably did 20. We
I
probably did
did.
80 soul blocks. What you say?
Well, you worked on those while I
Yeah.
did. I did mostly the herbs and the tomatoes, but I put all those in pots. Some were in the sales, what they call the sales. But I did do some like in probably 4 or
Big
6
pots.
inch pots, and I needed to clean up my greenhouse.
That
Those
video's-
videos are coming out soon.
I'm telling you, we always have content.
We're so far behind.
I'm so sorry
We
if
just-
y'all think we're crazy. A lot of times I'll talk to some homesteaders and they're like, man, I don't know how y'all have that much content.
We're just always doing stuff.
If
There's so
we might
much
run
to
our
do.
mouth too much. I don't know, but we have a lot of good videos coming out dealing with some of our farms. So
The
some
soul
different
blocks
things. So,
was the first video that you watched of us.
oh, great.
I think that's what she means. The
Yeah.
soul block one.
The soul block one was cool, and we've got a lot of new soul blocks coming out on this next video.
What is your number one goal for this year's garden and homestead? Turkeys.
Misty would say turkeys. I would say
We're getting turkeys this spring when we order our second batch of meat birds.
yeah, I would say probably
Don't even say the S word.
sheep. Probably I say that I never go. I'm gonna go back. I like sheep. I don't know if that'd be my goal for this year. We're gonna probably look at butchering the turkeys.
We're going to butcher pigs this year, which is a huge
Yeah,
thing
that's a
for
big
us.
step for us too.
And we're going to be killing off Ike. And he is a
What?
breed.
Oh,
Can't
Angus.
remember.
He's Angus Hereford cross.
Okay, I knew he was a
Yeah.
something cross.
He's a baldy, if you know what that is.
So I think that's our probably meat wise.
Thank you.
Garden, I would say definitely
I agree having a homestead,
this
by
will
the
be
way.
a first full year for us to allow our pigs and chickens to till and fertilize the full garden for a full year, and the tarps, those type things. So by the end of this year, we'll have been doing this for a full year. So we're
on those aspects,
right. So
we've
we're
done.
curious to know. Because over the past, what would you say, 3 or 4 years, we've experimented with different things, and we've not been.
Some of it's worked, some of it's not.
Right. So we're still in our experimental stage. I really think we're going to be happy with this. It all makes sense, if that makes any sense.
We're actually doing a talk on it at a local venue, so I hope that it makes sense because we're going to tell everybody about it. I tell you another thing, Fancy Farmer, too, for us is we will be meat sustainable this year. I would love to see us become vegetable sustainable. And I mean by that, we grow huge gardens, and I can grow. I mean, we've got blueberries running our ears. We've had butter beans and okra from the last 2 years. That's all good, but I'm trying to get to the point where we eat in season to a point where if it's spinach, we're going to eat spinach, broccoli, and lettuce. If it's peas and carrots and tomatoes, we're going to make sure we have enough of each of those items through seasons. And through that, our goal is to build a CSA and a meat merchandising kind of business through that. Now, that's not something that we're looking for future goals for 2020, but by us becoming better at in-season cropping, that will help us build a CSA that's going to benefit our community because that's our goal. Our goal is to make sure that people understand the importance of growing your own food and being sustainable on your own farm.
Having the homestead said, I think we still have a chance for a freeze at some point in February. Yeah, ours, I would even say, goes maybe on into March here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, our last frost date
trees.
is around March 13th or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We've been in Marches where we've had 90-degree weather swimming. We've been in Marches where we've had record snow.
Yeah, it kind of fluctuates.
Welcome, Mississippi.
I want sheep or llama. I heard somebody say not long ago, if you don't like the weather today, just hang around for a few days. Or
We can get
a
4
few
seasons
days.
in a
Yeah,
week.
because it goes from 80 to 30 overnight. So if you don't like the season one day, stay for a few days. It'll be totally different. That's just where we live.
I don't know if we'll be at HOA for 2020. We may try. We actually we did go 2019. I enjoyed it. The kicker for us is we have milk cows. That is a good season for us because one tends to not be milking, and if we can find another milker, we would probably go. We would. Our goal this year, we're gonna go to Baker Creek for sure, or that's gonna be our definite grow because we've never been that way.
We'll be at Deep South for sure.
Yeah, we'll be at Deep South.
We
we'll
had
be
the shindig in our minds, but it didn't get put on the calendar.
Hey, Holly Ridge.
And
Holly
the
Ridge,
seminar that we were just talking about speaking at that we
Took
agreed
that.
to do
Yeah.
fell on that weekend, and I was like super excited about it, and Ben was like, oh, that's the we're gonna miss y'all at the shindig, and I was like, oh no, I didn't get the shindig on the calendar, so we totally missed it.
We were able to go with VW to Polyface this last year and met them again at Deep South last year.
Yeah.
And saw them at HOA, so we're gonna probably meet back up with them at different times. So
yeah, but Baker Creek is definitely on our list.
Yeah, the Airloop
and
Festival.
we're super excited. Yeah, we're super excited. Oh, Fancy Farmer says,
Silent Girl, we were trying to go to Shindig.
We're super excited.
Last year we were going to Shindig, and our milker backed out, and then this year we have a speaking engagement, so we have to be there. So.
And we were really
like
looking forward to that. Yes, we really do like them. They're really sweet, down to earth. They have a big farm. They do a lot too, and we really like them. So we're really bummed that. And I don't know. I mean, we just didn't get it transferred from our brains on the calendar. So when we
would hope to be at the Shindig, and if something happens with the speaking engagement, it's pretty set up and they've got it structured. So I doubt it, but we will definitely try. But we do have milkers, so for us with cows, our area is hard to find somebody that wants to milk one cow, much less 2 cows. So it's one of those things where if we can find a milker, we'll try to make as many as we can for sure. So we're running low.
Okay. Fancy Farmer, I think, is going to be in California. We're going to Missouri.
We're going to the Missouri, the original one for spring.
Like May the 2nd and 3rd, or either the 3rd and the 4th.
Ours is the spring one. The heirloom one's more, I think, in fall. So we're going to the spring one in Missouri at their home place. So
yeah. Even though I've always said I wanted to go to California, I'm not 100% sure I would be crazy about taking my 5 kids to California. Even though I was really in a panic about taking them to Washington. That wasn't
that bad.
It was better than I anticipated.
It was.
Stacy says, I'm going to Deep South's gathering all summer. I'm going to try. It's not a bad drive, and you don't live, I mean, you're about 30 minutes away from us, so that'll be good.
Holly Ridge, we are supposed to get off, but the calf is doing great. He's actually
a cute little thing.
He's a spunky little thing.
He really is. He runs circles around. Josie.
He's doing great.
I don't remember Josie really being like that. But
she would get in her mood. She would get in a mood every once in a while. But she's not as active as what he was.
I've always wanted to go. I've heard it's beautiful, but just because we're not familiar with that area, it makes me a little nervous. Do y'all have any other last questions that y'all have for us? I mean, whether it's about us or anything on our farm or anything that we do, we would love to answer those.
Yeah, we would love to answer them. We're going to wrap it up anyway.
Cali was fun to visit, but wouldn't want to live there.
It's kind of like New Orleans. I like New Orleans for the culture, but I sure don't want to live there. No offense to anybody from New Orleans. We're only 2 hours from
My daughter lives in Missouri, and she might be able to meet us at Baker Creek.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
Make the bun video.
I'm gonna make it. I promise.
The buns are the bomb too.
We have so much.
All right, so tomorrow's video is an orchard video. We added to the orchard. We did doing it for boots. Added for the abundant permaculture.
Well, we actually got all that stuff planted.
Yeah,
that y'all saw us buy.
That's right.
We got it all in the ground.
We got in the ground yesterday for this video, and then the next video will be gardening. We'll actually have some of the information for our raised beds that y'all saw we built today, and then we'll be in the greenhouse. And then Missy's got a good video for the weekend. coming out. It's a little bit on a serious note, and then
and most of y'all have kind of heard me talk about that a little bit. I was hoping to have it by this week, but just because we have so much content,
yeah,
it's probably going to be a weekend thing. But
it'll
just
be coming out soon.
you know, y'all have heard us talk about the calf and how that was super exciting, but that's a little bit more, it's a little bit personal experience that I went through when I was 18, and it's more geared for your ladies, and just how God used me and is still using me to tell my story. You know, it was a life or death thing for me, so I'm just very thankful.
Holly Ridge, our farm is around 30 acres. We actually farm or homestead about 10 of those. The rest is in pine thickets, and we do have a pond as well. But about 10 acres that we're actively farming, and then we can expand to. We just don't need to expand any more than that right now. But it's about 30 acres total.
Well, if he wants sheep, we're gonna have to, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not crazy about.
Thank you, Mr.
Sheep.
Alton. We have 5 calves coming this year, so we may have to expand anyway. So. Thank y'all so much for watching. We always love coming on Wednesday nights. It's one of our highlights of our week. Just to be able to chat with y'all. We try to keep up with our comments as they go. It means the world to us that y'all come out and spend time with the Max for sure. I always enjoy it.
Always enjoy it. Yes, doing it for Boots.
That's right. Thank y'all so much for watching our videos too. We were laughing today. We always have content.
Thank you, Mr.
We're like
Arlene.
at 210 videos or something like that. And it's probably because we like to talk too much. It's probably not my fault. So we do a lot of how-tos, but really we just like to show you our life. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Thank y'all so very much for coming on though. God bless y'all. We hope you have a great rest of the week. Watch the Mac videos when it's raining. You can actually do a little binge watching. We're good with that. Enjoy them. Okay.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.